So we're talking about the moving image. And I say the moving image because is it film anymore? Is it video anymore? We don't watch much on television anymore. We do, but we watch a lot of television on our computers, on Netflix, on Disney Plus, on whatever we're watching. So we're not, even if we're sitting in the room and we've got a big monitor at the front, a smart TV, we may not, it's highly likely we're not watching it in any traditional way, and we can binge and all those sorts of things. So I've sort of broken down to just saying moving image, because the medium it's recorded on, which video is, doesn't really matter anymore, because we do things on our phone. It's never on tape. It's never any of those things. So I like saying moving image, but it's too long. So whichever. But the core, what I want to emphasize to you, and I'm going to show you a video on this account, the core is telling a good story. And the challenge in advertising is telling a great story in 30 seconds, a minute, or a minute 30. I mean, the one thing YouTube has made possible, and you know, all the different online platforms, is that when I learned even graduate, you basically made commercials that were 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or 60 seconds. Well, now we start with a minute 30, it could be 2:11. The times aren't nearly so specific, but then things will get edited down if they end up on traditional media. But the core is telling a story in the allotted time, in the time that's available. So I am going to show you the most popular nature video of all time on YouTube, or at least it was. After it was first posted 13 years ago, so the quality of the videos of the moving pictures are not awesome. I'll just say video. The quality of the video is not awesome because the technology is nowhere near what it is now, 8 years later. Within months, it got about 30 million viewers. Now, I know that that doesn't match like pop songs, like Gangnam, like Despacito, and things like that get billions of views. But for a nature video to get what is now 80 million views on YouTube, that's pretty impressive. And there's a reason for it. There's a very good reason for it. So I'm going to show it to you now, and I will share the screen. I will need to leave my audio on. So we'll cut that off. Okay. And we'll go here. Close that. All right. Okay. So this video is called Battle at Kruger. Kruger is the national park in South Africa that's actually as big as Wales. So that may mean it's bigger than here. But we're going to watch it. There's 3 things involved in any video. So I've abandoned my whole speech before. I'm going to say video. There's 3 things involved. There's the images, okay, that are moving, that are connected, those things. So the pictures. There is sound effects, the natural sound of the space, and included that category is also music. So it's all the things that are in the background but come to the foreground, different things like that. And then the third thing is spoken word. So this includes all 3 of those elements, but it is very informal. This was shot in the moment, on the fly, and is kind of interesting. So we'll take a look.
Right over there, there's only intently watching the buffalo. Or moving right over there. This could be very interesting. That is a huge buffalo.
That's a huge buffalo.
It's a huge buffalo.
Even the lion.
Oh, they're too young. The one's gone already.
Don't you think they were Is it little?
I don't know. I think they're a bit young. I don't know. Maybe. You know, really.
They're crouching.
She's crouching.
I mean, jack position. No, I think they're the same. Is that you? I can't see. This is
Uh-oh. What's the bull going to do?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna grab the baby.
Oh my God.
I'll grab the baby.
She's
Watch.
going for it. She's going for it. She got him. Oh, she did. She got him.
Baby, he's gone. He's just dropped that buffalo here. Oh my God. God, did you see that? Oh my God. Unbelievable. Oh, guys, I'm shaking. Can you believe this? Now the buffalo are coming to help this one. Now watch.
They're too
They'll
late.
come and help this baby. Watch.
They're too late. Can they help him now, Frank?
Yeah, they can.
He's still alive, you think?
Oh, it's still alive.
My goodness.
Russell for Frank.
They're trying to drag him out. They're dragging him out.
Hulle nou net 'n kleintjie gevang. Hier's lekker action hier so. Hulle het 'n kleintjie hier so in die water en die krop is besig om nader te kom.
It's on its back. I have to kill it quickly. Oh, it's so alive.
Ja, positief. Hulle het 'n klein buffeltjie gevang hier so.
There's a crocodile there too.
Ja, as 'n krokodil ook. Daar kruip 'n krokodil op die kleintjie. Yes.
Crocodile.
Ja, check through the barn. The croc's trying to grab the baby.
Yes. Oh, good gracious.
Look at this. The crocodile's taking the baby away.
Oh my God. The two crocodiles.
They're going to lose it.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
they're gonna fight over it.
Because I'm shaking.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's huge crocodile.
Oh, look at the dog.
The lions have won.
The lions have won.
Oh, the lions have won.
Yeah, look at all those buffalo coming.
No, they're going to come and try and chase the lion, but I think they're too late.
I think you're right. They're way too late now. No, we're gonna chase them. Come on.
No, they're too late. There you go, Roger.
Oh, look at the teeth. They're gonna chase the teeth. You're too late.
Yes.
You're too late.
You guys, you cannot believe what's going on here. There's a big terrier between lions, crocodiles, and buffaloes.
Oh.
Whoa. He swatted at him, he kicked at him. He's kicking at him, look. He's kicking at him.
Ja, julle ouens, julle moet sien wat die aangaan. Die buffels is besig om die leeu's te omsingel hierso. Want die leeu's het 'n klein jatjie gevang. En die jatjies wil die leeu's nou bykom. Hulle het jag die leeu's links en regs.
Oh, they got him surrounded.
Ja, jy kan maar kom dan. Hier's
And that
groot.
one's.
Ooh.
Ooh. Good morning.
We're going to watch that.
You got the lion on it, right?
That middle buffalo is so long.
The other doing
Jeez. Never
Never seen that.
I've never seen anything like
The calf's still alive.
It is?
Yeah, it's trying to get away. It's standing up.
Oh, what is that?
He's coming back.
They do have him back.
Hierdie buffels het die leeu's weggevat van hy kleintjie af. En dit is
They're going back. We're coming to the other ones. We're going to see.
I'm still chasing. Check.
And they cheat.
I've never seen him come.
There's two left.
Gee, they chased him away.
If they hook the one, did you see that? Look at this.
The one.
Oh,
Run.
The leo is that lies, isn't it? You see that? But you see that one like further on in the air?
Yes.
What did they-
Yeah, I got him. I got him being thrown in the air.
Jatjies het die daai klein jatjie se lewe gered. Die kom Bonnie's weggejaag. Ongelooflik. Hey, this little people must be more than 100.
Yes.
I mean, you just take 10.
Yeah.
And it's easy to come back.
He's fabulous, this one.
Yeah, but he's stupid, he's young.
Doesn't know when you grow up. Where's the little one?
I've never seen anything like this.
Really?
Never seen anything like this. I mean, I've seen it on video and on movies, but how's this?
Oh, you can sell that video.
Yeah, probably. Should have.
Like Buffalo Attack.
Yeah.
In fact, he did sell it. And in fact, in essence, they did attack. Because Jelle moenie speel met buffalo nie. Hulle sal jou moer. Okay, buffalo are the most dangerous thing on the savannah. And their weapon is their head, and they are mean, and they are belligerent. These are not Asian buffalo at all. But the thing that drives that, I mean, even so Jawahar was on their side. They should attack, they should turn the tables. But the point is, the story was amazing. It, you know, I've been to the Kruger at least 10 times. I've never seen anything remotely like this. I've never seen a lion kill or anything like that. We've gone at the right time of year. It actually took me 17 years to see a leopard. So this place is very wild. For them to have seen this and for them to have recorded it was pretty phenomenal. And that's why ultimately 80 million people have watched this. That's why the guy at the end, it's pretty cool they left that in, that you could sell this. Discovery Channel paid for it, and they built an entire TV show around it, because this is an amazing story. It's one shot, okay? The first shot is sort of an establishing shot, and then it jumps to the next one, and he left in there. But it's one shot, continuous. The video quality is not huge. The way it's shot would not win you any prizes, but the story that happens has surprises. It gives you things you don't expect. Gives you a victory for the little guy. Okay, they decided probably 3 times that the baby was dead, and yeah, you mess with the buffalo, you're going to get the horns. Okay. And that's what these lions learn. Also, funny phrase that you guys may not have heard. It was in English, but when he said, talking about the lions, he said they're young and they're stupid. I mean, even the first tackle of the baby by the lion was pretty phenomenal, because she spun around and went into the water and took the baby into the water. Then you have the turn of event. You have the crocs show up and they start fighting and the lions win. Aha, but do the lions win? Because to get the baby, the kill, away from the crocodile, they have to completely come up on land where they are susceptible to a herd, many, a collective group of buffalo. And as individuals, you could see they weren't that excited, except for a couple of them pretty bold. And actually the most intense one was a bull. But so you guys get, that was a story. You can find it on YouTube. And the likelihood that at least half of you who are awake and watching will tell a family member or find this and send the links to your friends is incredibly high, because it's an amazing piece of video. And it is a great story, and it shows that the story is the core. I mean, in terms of, you've got the narration, which is the people actually just talking casually. It's not like it's scripted or anything. But then even at that moment when you think, oh, the baby's dead, all the mooing or the lowing or what the is the baby when it's trying to stand up and it sees an opportunity to get away. These guys have terribly tough skin, and they're not the smartest animals in the world, but they are mean and determined. I would say a lion's probably smarter, but smart enough to run away. And the one lion that went flying, I mean, there's great shots, and there's a few moments even when he zoomed in where the autofocus, it came into focus. But capturing that is all the elements of a great story. Quite by accident for this guy, super fortunate for this guy. But that's at the core. And all of those elements exist in what I think are some of my favorites, and I have shown them to you, but I'm going to show it to you again. Does anybody remember or have an idea of my favorite commercial? Anyone? Does anybody remember? You can say it or you can type it. Okay, no, Jawahar is in the zone, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you, and maybe you'll remember it or not. And then what I'm going to do is, because it is multiple shots, multiple sequences, but a totally self-contained story, I'm going to walk you through it and break it down a little bit and show you what's there. So this is my favorite. It's from 2014, the Super Bowl. And I actually hooked up with a former student on LinkedIn, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before. Yeah, you did see a lot of commercials, Saloma, that's right. But and she remembers watching this and how much I loved it. So here it is.
The world is full of giants. They have always been here, lumbering in the schoolyards, limping through the alleys. We had to learn how to deal with them, how to overcome them. We were small, but fast. Remember? We were like a wind appearing out of nowhere. We knew that being clever was more important than being the biggest kid in the neighborhood. As long as we keep our heads down, As long as we work hard, trust what we feel in our guts, our hearts, then we're ready. We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows, quietly walk out of the dark, and strike.
Okay, so nowhere do they ever say the name Maserati. It's only here on this last shot, this last screen, and they don't say it. It's just in the video, in the text, and that's where we see the slogan. I love that slogan, absolute opposite of ordinary. Not a company that advertises very much, but it is just this fantastic story. And it's the little people against the big people. It's the smart people or the hardworking people against the bullies. It's actually super American in that it's the little guy versus the big guy, and it's sort of David and Goliath, and David throws that rock and knocks down the giant who's the champion of the Philistines. So it is that epic. And while it breaks a lot of rules, sort of traditional rules about video, for me, who has taught those for 30 years and believes in them very strongly, this just works. And it's super cool. And it takes on some of that character that we've gotten with YouTube and other things, where we've got so much raw video out there and so much unprofessional video that it's now being done. Some of the shaking or the blurring is being done on purpose and professionally to create an experience with the image and make it feel real and authentic. Now, in this particular piece, so when we talk about an image, so all of here, I'll just do it this way, okay? So that's an image, and we've talked about composing an image, and it needs to be an image. Now, actually there, you can see at the bottom, there's a copyright, registered trademarks, all that stuff that needs to be in there, but you're not noticing that when you're watching, but it's there. But that would be where it first says Maserati. But this is an image. And what happens is when the image starts to move, it becomes a shot. And a shot is any continuous group of images. And then when it changes angle, changes field of view, changes, like if we switch to, where do we switch to? Or let's see, it goes to the front of the car. I knew that's where it was going. Okay, that's a different shot based on images. Okay, and before that, we had that shot. We have a cutaway into the tachometer inside the car. So we're getting the trident again. We're getting the logo. And you have the car, it starts out, oh gosh. And they're clearly spraying the water because it creates a super cool effect. And because it's there from the side, and we have the light, we have first person. I mean, those are all different shots. And when you put different shots of the same subject together, it becomes a sequence. Now, it could be the same subject, or it could be the same concept, because in fact, this video has a lot of what you would call montage. And what a montage is shots that are not directly related to one another in any sort of physical, functional way. They're connected conceptually. So we don't hear any sound. All we hear in this first shot is the power of the wave. Okay. Then we go to the second shot of power and danger, and it's a tornado. And then she speaks. We hear her speak. Okay. And so then she starts speaking. We've seen these two powerful images. So both of those first two, okay, what looks like a tidal wave, which is probably a wave in Portugal, okay, after a big storm, and this tornado, there's no connection except they symbolize power. Okay, and this actually, a tornado is a very American thing, because I've lived a lot of places, and America was where they cared. I lived in Oklahoma, and I had I knew lots of guys, had friends who chased tornadoes, and they wanted to get as close to them as they could. Rochelle and I were driving in Nebraska, and we avoided a tornado. So this totally connects. I get it. It connects with the middle of America. But both of these images are, it's a montage, because there's no direct connection except for the curve in it. Okay, I could tell you all the ways they're connected, but it's power. It's symbolizing power. And then she calls them dragons. There's always been dragons. So then we switch to a different kind of montage, which are these moving shadows. Okay, so that was two shots in that sequence. This is the first shot of the shadow. So it's sort of that unknown entity. So that's connecting to the dragon idea. And then we go to the second one, which is here in the rocks, and the shadow moves across. So that could all be, so once again, two shots in this sequence, and it's all montage. Then we see the speaker. Now we don't see her speaking, obviously, but there she is. We're going to find out that she's the main character of this story, and she's driving us. Now, another thing about this spot is that it is completely diverse. It is representational, and this is 2014. So that, you know, that's 7 years ago, and Maserati was thinking about that. Maserati was trying to reach a broad audience. Anyone who could afford to buy the car, they wanted them to think about buying the car. And ultimately, most of these people watching this commercial in the US, unless they're car geeks, unless they're a car person, which I am kind of, but I was definitely much more when I was young, wouldn't necessarily know what a Maserati is or what it symbolizes. Okay, so, and this blows it up. This is not, there's no way you're watching this and you're expecting that it's a commercial for Maserati. And the surprise is what makes you remember. The calf getting away is what makes you remember. Okay, so there she is. And then we go to a second shot. So she looks up, which gives us the edit. And then you sort of have, that might be what she's looking at. But even this shot is ultimately, this is not a continuity sequence, but it's still a sequence because it's her in a room. Okay, but it's not, it doesn't really have complete continuity because it is images of the same person, the same thing. And then we sort of see her, oh, look, she's also in the shot. So there she is, 2, and then we go 3 with her looking at herself in the mirror. And so, you know, the words are coming. This is establishing she's diminutive, she's Black, she's someone who's probably been pushed around. And then we start to see what she's referring to. And this becomes, from the small girl, we go to really kind of macho, tough, stressful job. So this is firefighting, and this is a 3-shot sequence. So we have the first one of the fire, then we have a shot over the shoulder of the firefighter, and then it goes with this white, and actually, yeah, he turns, so this is a continuous shot, so it's just 2. Then we jump, and that's a really good shot. Then we jump momentarily, and actually the words at this point talk about looking over or over the top. So, and at this point, we don't know is this for cars? Is it for Coca-Cola? Is it for, I don't know what? Is it an anti-bullying campaign? Who knows? What is it? So this is just a single shot that cuts away from the montages, cuts away from the ideas, brings a totally different angle looking down at the world. And then we come back to her. So we've sort of established a city, and then she's coming outside down the stairs. It tends to be a little bit dark. It's like she's getting up early to go to work, go to school, but that's kind of going to work. Okay, she's up for it. She's pushing. So she comes down the stairs, not complete continuity, but the two shots totally relate to each other in a sequence. And then this is a cutaway because she says we were small, but we were fast. And these birds completely exemplify that. And if we look here in this shot, she's looking up. So she could very well be looking at those birds. And because it's kind of dark, it looks cloudy, even if it's maybe not cloudy, because the shot of the birds is definitely cloudy. Okay, so we've got a logical connection. And then when we come back to her, she's on a bicycle. So that shot away then gives us a chance to go to a new image of her. So there she is. And we don't even specifically see her face, but then she's talking about how we were moving and it was a wind. And so we go to this is a wide shot. The other one of the birds was a medium shot. This is a wide shot of the birds. And then they do this cool congregational thing because this particular type of bird does that. And it sort of symbolizes being together and working together. And it's a way to visualize the wind because you can't see the wind, right? Nobody's seen the wind. So this gives a way to see the wind because these birds are dancing together in the wind. Okay, and then that enables us to get another shot of her in a different place, but she's got like these rugged boots on, which is super cool. Her whole look is super cool. Okay, and it's actually pretty respectful because she's covered even though she's wearing a skirt. So they've thought of a whole lot of audiences in their head, I guarantee you. It's a very cool look. So there she is, she's outside and you can tell it's a little cold. And then she switches and she's talking about better to being smart than being the biggest kid in the room. Okay. Now I relate to this because I was both things and I was bullied. I know that sounds really weird, but so this probably is another reason I like it because it connects. Okay. So we see this guy who's an architect, who's also a man of color. Okay. It's two shots. Okay. The first white person we see is the ballerina. And we've got one shot. We've got two shots. And we've got three shots. Wait, no, that's two shots again because it's a tilt up. It's in a single shot. Okay. So there she's putting on her ballet shoes and not everybody is creative thinking things like that. Now I connect to this because both my daughters did ballet all the way through grade 8, which is completing the graded system, but never mind, of the Royal Academy of Dance. So I have this connection to it. And it's showing that these people share something in common, that even though you might not think of those things being in common, because now we go to her, okay, being reflective, and we go back, and now we go back into the tough, hardworking notion, okay? And this is working with steel, and we've got these two guys sort of working together as far as we can tell. And this is almost the first indication of what this might be about, because that's kind of in the shape of a key, at least to me. So maybe I make an association. So we've got a sequence of about, 3 shots. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 shots, or it's 2 twos. Those two could be separate. Okay. Then we switch, and now we've got a new sequence, and it's guys on a fishing boat. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 4 shots. So once again, that could be a 2.2 again. So it could be different things. And then we have working on this motorcycle engine. So now we're getting a little more clue of maybe what this is about. And then we switch to this. These 3 shots must all sort of be related to that, but it's not, they're still keeping it sort of a mystery as we go through those 3 shots. It feels a bit more like a montage. Then we go dark. And now she's about to do the closer and make the point. So she talks about, we waited till they were sleeping. And so we see a visualization of being them so big, they can hardly move. Then we come out of the dark. So we have the guy, the welder that we've seen before, opening his hat, sort of looking, coming out of the dark. And he gives us a look. I mean, it's a great look. And that look takes us to the shot of the girl behind the curtain. So we're back to the ballerina again, because it's about coming out of the dark, sort of onto the stage with the pan. And then we go to the most awesome moment. And because then she whispers, we strike. Okay, yelling is not always the way to get things done, but she just does it in this subtle way. And she says, we strike. So all spoken word ends with we strike. And then we go to the black. I mean, and it actually, I believe it's the first word she says on camera. Everything else is a voiceover. This is the first word she says on camera. Okay, I way overanalyze stuff. So, okay. Then it goes black. And the first thing we heard is the sound. Okay, we're not seeing it the way I'm doing it right now. We are going to watch it again. Okay, but the first thing we hear is that growl that a geek like me knows that's a Maserati. And that's awesome. How the heck did we get to Maserati? And then the Maserati comes out of the dark, just like the people. And we hear the sound. And this is a sequence. It breaks some rules and does some things, but it's all the car, different angles. It's dark. We see the lights. There's blurring. And it's really driven by the sound. And we got some first person, we've got third person behind the car, then we're in the car, then the side, the front, we go inside cutaway to the tachometer that matches with the engine sound. This is now connecting to people who like cars, because now that awesome sound, and it's connected directly to this car. So if I didn't know, now I know. Okay, in case you don't know, now you know. And we're seeing the trident. Somebody who doesn't know might not even know what that trident is. Is this a new kind of car? What is this? Then we get some more pictures of the car driving. This is a really fast edit through here. And it drives off the frame and we go to black. And then the text comes up. No spoken word. I think it's totally smart. We have to read it. We have prepared. So it's reinforcing what she said. We have prepared, which is what the whole video is about. And then now we strike. And it's almost like you can hear her in your head again. So no spoken word. And it's silent. So we see Ghibli. And even then, what I did is I went to the internet and said, okay, what are they talking about at Ghibli? I don't know specifically. I know Quattroporte and those things, but what kind of model is this? And then Maserati. So I don't know if this increased sales. This is ultimately an expensive car. And I don't know if the people that look to be targeted in this or a broad American audience is going to start buying Maseratis. But I guarantee you they increased awareness, because Maserati and Ferrari advertise very, very little. And for this to be your first Super Bowl commercial, and it's been their only one so far, but incredible to me. I mean, I don't know if it was critically acclaimed, but this critic loves it. So then it's Maserati. And what I just did for you, and I'll leave the Maserati up there. And the point is, think about it. How good is this commercial? I have shown it to classes for 7 years. And in fact, I've shown it in a place where some of the people I've shown it to might be able to afford it, might be able to buy a Maserati, and they know where to go get them because they know where it is in this town. So that is a good commercial because I keep showing it. And then even one particular student on LinkedIn says, the Maserati commercial, the Maserati commercial. So that means when she talks about being in the same class, she talks about the Maserati commercial. So it has that substance. So it has a storyline. It has beautiful video, but what I have done is deconstructed it for you. I've taken the pieces apart so that maybe you can understand what, I mean, I haven't read, I haven't talked to the people who made it, but this is what I understand from looking at it. So by understanding that, and I've sort of storyboarded it for you without putting it anywhere, then there's a way here for you to understand how you put a beautiful story together with pieces of video. Now let's just watch it one more time, just to take my analysis and give it some legs. This opening is super cool because we hear the wave, but then it switches over to the voice and the wave.
The world is full of giants. They have always been here, lumbering in the schoolyards, limping through the alleys. We had to learn how to deal with them, how to overcome them. We were small, but fast. Remember? We were like a wind appearing out of nowhere. We knew that being clever was more important than being the biggest kid in the neighborhood. As long as we keep our heads down, as long as we work hard, trust what we feel in our guts, our hearts, then we're ready. We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows, quietly walk out of the dark, and strike.
Okay, I don't see any way you can watch that commercial and not want that car. Okay, but what I want to show you now is a line of Abu Dhabi and UAE videos that have those same principles at work. Some of the more modern, shaky things and stuff like that. I'm going to show you these three that I believe started in 2010 with this actual award-winning spot for Abu Dhabi tourism. Okay, and everything about this is virtually perfect. I can find some things to negatively criticize, but really that's overreaching because this is super cool. The voice, the words are out of this world. I think it's so well written. And then it was followed by one in 2017. The only problem with this first one is it's Travelers Welcome, which was not strong as a slogan. But this in 2017 took a lot of the same ideas and a lot of what we're talking about today, okay, in terms of possible and impossible, starts in 2010 in this spot. Whoever wrote it, hopefully you can appreciate it. And I don't believe there's any way I can show you these two commercials and you can't feel proud. Because even as I watch them, I kind of feel Emirati because it's just like, yeah, I live there. I know about that. That's so cool. Okay, so that is how powerful these are. So let me show them to you, and then I'll show them both to you, and then I'm going to break down the second one a little bit, because the second one, I wish it had the voice of the first one, but the writing is super strong. The voice is not bad, but the point is I've seen the best. Once you've heard the best, it's like, why didn't they get that guy? I mean, you know, I don't know if he's around 7 years later, but it's just, it's nearly perfect from an editing point of view, from a shooting point of view, all those sorts of things. But let's watch the first one. And it's like, I want to show it to you multiple times. That is how much I love this commercial. And it all starts on the Sheikh Bridge.
Be still, so you may hear the dreams of the people below. Pay no attention to the impossible, they whisper, for he does not belong here. As the road rises, you find the land, majestic, calm. The space, the air, the breeze, the buzz, the thrill, and the back of beyond. Engaging, refuge, home, inviting, but never foreboding. The beast's heart will pound beside ours. As night crackles electric, a million promises are held. Day rewards night with a perfect dawn, and dawn rewards in turn. And nature rewards an inquisitive mind. In a land where the impossible is defined and ignored.
Any thoughts or comments? Anybody? I'm pretty sure I built it up too much. Okay. All right. I desperately hope you're watching. Okay. I'm gonna run it one more time, just because that's how much I like it. Okay.
Be still, so you may hear the dreams of the people below. Pay no attention to the impossible, they whisper, for he does not belong here. As the road rises, you find the land, majestic, calm. The space, the air, the breeze, the buzz, the thrill, and the back of beyond. Engaging, refuge, home, inviting, but never foreboding. The beast's heart will pound beside ours. As night crackles electric, a million promises are held. Day rewards night with a perfect dawn, and dawn rewards in turn. And nature rewards an inquisitive mind. In a land where the impossible is defined and ignored.
So, okay. Oh, I'm not sure what that means. We'll be doing the same thing. I don't think you're at the point where you can pull off the same thing, but I think Abu Dhabi is pulling off the same thing. But what you're going to be doing is breaking down the 50th year spot. So I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to show you the. Oh shoot! I'm way running out of time. All right. Okay. Because class is over at 2:05. Okay. So I'm just going to need to show you these two. This one is really good as well. No question. So this is 7 years later. I think it's built on the same idea. And
The story is centuries deep and endless like the desert. where it opens like a mirage, unlikely, unbelievable at first. It starts with the vision of wise men who take the sand, the sea, the sun, and weave a masterpiece they call home. They built forts against time, monuments for faith, for the future, where they fill the air with songs of joy, where they can welcome the world and all its creations. They venture on journeys full of twists and turns, towering heights and dizzying drops, to treasures of awe, of beauty, passed down for generations, waiting for you to arrive. Abu Dhabi, your extraordinary story.
Okay, so wow, awesome. I just want to point out a couple things to you that are in it. Okay, one of them is the shot of the horse hooves, very much a close up. Then the guy in the truck, in the SUV, clearly it looks like he's taking a picture. Then we go to the wide shot of the horses. You could have actually cut from those hooves to this picture, but it included the guy seeing it. Okay, this is pretty amazing as well. The boys, like they're flying. Okay, even the horizon line is bent. Some of you know exactly how much I hate that, but in this context, it totally works. I have no issue with it. It's moving, it's changing. Then the two boys are up on top of the dune and they've done an effect. And so we see the airplane and they actually have just a hint of the airplane sound that you can hear the jet. And then we have the one shot on the airplane with the flight attendant and Etihad, and there it is momentarily showing you that. Then we move on. And what's cool about this is wise men. And now I've watched this a lot of times, and today was the first time when you watch it in video, you might not realize what this is, but when you make it still, it's like, yeah, that's Qasr al-Hosn. Makes total sense, because then Qasr al-Hosn takes us back to the oasis and moves us forward. These shots of the oasis, the sun, and you say the sun. So this is the oasis, the Al Ain oasis, or the date palm plantation that's there. But this is exactly, Jean Nouvel said, this is exactly the inspiration for the roof of the Louvre. That's exactly what he meant to capture. And this was before the Louvre was done. And then they have this about the place called home. And then we're back again to the water and building fortresses against time, monuments to faith. I love that top shot, really shows the portico. Then we have close up to wide shot, and then the sort of youth. And then that again is the guys dancing down by the bottom of the HQ. And then you see the dude again. So this is like the traveler, and he looks over and then he sees them. So we go to the wide shot. Then we head to Baniyas, and we go to the mangroves, cool desert safari, but that takes us to vehicles, which takes us to Yas. So we have a guy going for a drive on Yas, going around the track. Then that switches to Ferrari World, riding the roller coaster changes to Yas Water World. He goes in the water. Then we have the guy coming, the pearl diver coming out of the water. This is super awesome. The pearl goes to the pearl around her neck in the close-up, and then we go wide shot, and there she's going to a luxury. That's Emirates Palace, no question. And then from there, we're on the Sheikh Zayed Bridge. We see the airport taxi. We see the woman in the car, and we know it's the right place. Then it goes to the Emirati guy looking off into the distance, and he's on a dhow. And so are these people on the dhow, because actually there he is in the background over here. Then we see him, and we actually switch from day to night, but we're still on the sea. We see the dhow in full, we see Adia, we see the landmark, and then Abu Dhabi, your extraordinary story. Awesome. Okay, so let me show you the spot. Sorry. What you're going to be doing, what you can do here is when you go through the video and you watch it on QuickTime, you can capture these frames, okay? And then you can paste them somewhere. So you can go, come in, see. I just did edit, copy. Then I can go to preview, and I can do Command N. And so it made that exact video. So, I mean, that frame. So that's how you can capture the frames. Then in the, seriously, I love talking about this so much because I just do love it. You'll see here in activity 17 is the video we're going to watch now. And I've also got you links to storyboard sheets that you can put this into. If you use it in Illustrator, it'll be much easier than if you try to work with the Word document. I'm going to try to make that a little easier to work with. And I will post an example, and I will post one more document that will tell you more about shot sizes, close up, extreme close up, wide shot, medium shot, and what they contain. So that should hopefully be helpful for you. Okay, so let's watch this last shot, because once again, if you don't feel proud, you're not proud. Sorry, I know that's a lot of pressure, but this is for the 50th, and this is the video that I've supplied there on the activity. This is the video I want you to break down.
عيالي الغاليين، شو تشوفون؟ أعرف إن الوقت تغير وإنكم تفكرون في مستقبلكم. تبون تعرفون أنا شو أشوف؟ أشوفكم أنتم، أشوفكم تبنون بيدينكم ولا شيء. البذور اللي زرعتوها والثمار اللي جنيتوها. أشوفكم من تتوحدون الناس وتيمون الكل، الصغير والكبير. كل المخاطر اللي خضتوها ألهمت كل الناس اللي حولكم. شفتوا كم أنجزتوا؟ يمكن المستقبل مو واضح الحين، لكن أنا بخبركم شيء. بوجودكم المستقبل بخير، وهذا وقتكم انتم، وقتكم تتأملون في الماضي وتخططون لمستقبلكم وتحققون أهدافكم وتدارون على بعض، لأن هذه بلادكم كلكم. تمسكوا في ذكرياتكم وورثوها حق عيالكم وعيال عيالكم. وصدقوا ما في حد في هالدنيا متخيل جمال هذه الذكريات، وأنا أنتظركم بفارغ الصبر لجل تشوفون هالشي بنفسكم. بوجودكم كلكم تنبض في الحياة. مع تحياتي، بلادكم 2071.
Okay, so what you're going to be doing is grabbing the first 12 shots and putting them into that storyboard. So I'll give you some example of that. But this one is really great as well. But this is what's out there now. This is part of a larger campaign. I may have had you look at it before, so you might be familiar with it. Ultimately, what you're going to end up creating is a storyboard deconstruction. So This is an example of that. So this is an older Etihad commercial, and there it's got the descriptions, and then that's how it works. So you put the frames in, and those are the changing of the frames, etc. Okay, and that's okay, and that breaks down the whole thing. The problem with some of these is that they're pretty big. So, okay, let's try to get it done before the next class. I know you didn't get full explanation, but check the video for the, I'm going to post the video for the other class as well. And if you go near the end of it, you can see more explanation, so you can get it there. You can pull it off of there. So don't worry about attendance. I'm just going to mark it. It's no issue. So we will go from there. So thanks a lot. Everybody have a good weekend, a good evening. Ramadan Mubarak. And you are welcome.
Sir,
Yes?
I want to talk to you regarding my attendance. The last time I was marked absent for this class. Not this class, sorry, another class. I was marked absent for another class, and my attendance was 8, and then it raised up to
11.
10,
Okay.
not 11. So after that, today I received an email that I have a WF in this course, and my PAP says it's 11%. So I'm quite confused about that, and I
Okay.
don't have any justification regarding like the WF or the appeal. So I really don't know what to do. And this is my last semester in ZU.
Okay, so you need to forward me that email.
Yeah,
And you probably also need to create an appeal, but
yeah,
send me all that information.
yeah.
Do an appeal, and then, and obviously you want to continue in the class, right? So,
Yes.
okay, but send me all that stuff, and then I can figure out what to do.
Okay, sure, sir. And also, I wanted to remind you that I was marked absent twice, and I asked you to remove it, but you never did. Like, I think twice at the beginning of the semester. So,
Okay, but, okay. Well, send me that message and I'll take a look.
okay, sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.